Hey everybody, Tom Kaczynski here. Welcome to a Thursday episode of Mad in Plaid. Today's date is the 28th, and even though I'm not wearing plaid, I'm actually wearing my Nordiques hat and my driving glasses. I decided to come on board here. You can see I'm in the car. I got my share of mason jars, toilet paper, and frankly, cow shit to go ahead and plant stuff. I came on this morning to talk about something that I am worried about, and I want you to go ahead and be paying attention to. There's a lot of events all happening at once, and I think you need to take them seriously. We have race riots in multiple American cities. We have political unrest throughout the country. We have an ongoing pandemic. China essentially annexed Hong Kong today. And with all of these things happening at once, the questions begged out there is, how can any people try to deal with all the problems we are having when we are being divided 100, 1,000 ways from all one another, and that we see new systems of control and coercion are being put in place? We now have labels on food substances that don't reflect what's actually out there. We have promises of fights coming down. We have more evictions than I've ever seen in a single month in history here at the end of the month, and there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of unrest, there's a lot of uncertainty, not to mention the clear and present danger of the coronavirus, which we learned just this week actually goes ahead and erases its own presence as it sits there and waits in your system. Waits for what? That's my question. What I'm mad about is that people aren't being smart and seeing the whole picture. We are living in dangerous times where one mistake by one group or provocations by others can cause all sorts of fights that basically would destroy the world as we know it. My wife said to me the other day she felt like we were living in the pre-post apocalypse, and I think there's a lot of truth in that. So my Mad and Plaid message to you, which fits our 75th episode, is that go get prepared. Be ready to be able to make it on your own and make it in your community. Those two things are not contradictory. They work directly together, and you'll need to be on top of each of those because things are not getting better. They're getting harder, and it's getting harder to tell what the challenges are. Our problem of dealing with the virus was a simple one. Go ahead and look for health, keep people safe, let science and medicine lead the way. We chose none of those paths, so now we have to walk a much harder and more difficult and challenging path where the outcomes are unknown. China and America are rushing towards a war. China's incursions into India that we've seen, where they now have multiple placements, and we see forces coming from India to meet them. We see Taiwan, where there's the emergence of a new Chinese carrier and the American fleet is going that way at the same time that we know sailors from the USS Roosevelt have gotten sick. What is happening in this world? I can't even tell you, and who's behind it. At the same time we have a terrible act in Minneapolis where an officer far exceeds his mandate, basically breaking someone's neck if the camera is to be believed. It's a horrible thing. It's a crime. The man should be punished and suffer the full criminal consequence. Nonetheless, a funny thing happens. You end up having race riots yet again during the summer of an election year. One wonders why these things always happen when they happen. A curious thing, and a terrible thing as we see unrest grow. And what happens is, as we are fighting ideologically, biologically, race level, whatever, economically, pick whatever level you like, it becomes impossible for any of us to do anything but work for our own narrow interest against a larger group that has literally been running away with the bank, printing money by the trillions to buy every asset, every bit of municipal debt, and go ahead and create a situation where we are now going into a new world serfdom. If I look like I'm planning for my own little castle, it's because this is literally the type of world we're coming into right now, something you don't want to experience, and none of us should be expecting and wanting to be a good thing. So my message to each and every one of you, the listeners of Coronavirus Central, the larger YouTube community, and what I'll be back with as soon as I can get my computer fixed, believe me, I'm rushing to do it, is to go ahead, be aware, be prepared, and do not wait to do tomorrow what you can do today. It's no accident. I've literally probably got a metric ton of soil sitting in the back here with a couple mason jars around and some other things. You can see what I've been buying. Why? Because I'm getting ready for the days ahead. We have a momentary break where those of you who did not prepare the first time have the opportunity to prepare more wisely this time. Have a plan, enact it, do not wait, and go ahead and purchase your own self-reliance in as much as your abilities, means, and capabilities allow. I cannot stress that more strongly to each of you, and please keep an eye on what's happening in China. We are on the brink of either a civil war, a world war, or both. If either any of those things result, every other thing may result. And who you know and who you trust is really going to be at the heart of this. So my last message to each and every one of you is use today to call the people you care about. Connect with someone you can work with. Talk to a neighbor. Make a friend. Make it so that you don't have to face this alone, because terrifying days may very well be ahead. I hope I'm wrong. I would love nothing more than to be wrong, but my job is not to go ahead and tell you what I want to be true. My job and what we do on Coronavirus Central is tell you how to keep safe. That's what you guys expect from me. That's what I'm working on. I'm heading back home to go shovel dirt and manure. It's not going to be a fun day, but you know what? The idea of having as much food as I need to do to make it through not just this winter, but the next winter, not a bad place to be in. Something for you to each think about. I will be back tomorrow. We'll have a good show. We're going to war game out this whole China scenario, and we're going to do some of the domestic stuff too. It'll be a good show at 7 p.m. evening, and I suspect I will be covering this in a lot of depth tomorrow morning. So, God bless. Everyone have a good day. Tom Kaczynski, Coronavirus Central, Mad and Plaid, out.